Hello and welcome to another 3-string cigar box guitar lesson. So we are continuing in DAD tuning here, and this is another classic rock tune, Crazy Little Thing Called Love by Queen. So great chord strumming song, this one, really good fun. It's got a very sort of like rock and roll, sort of Elvis kind of vibe to it, and as with the previous one, Kashmir, this is in the same key as the original, so when you've learnt it, you can play along with the original song. So just before we get on with that, let's just make sure we are in tune. Okay, so here is low D, here is middle A, and here is high D. So I believe this song was recorded and released in 1979, included on the 1980 album The Game. And like I said, we are in the same tuning, the same key as the original song. So it was in 6-string for the original, sort of part acoustic for the first half, electric comes in for the second half, but it works pretty well on this one. We are tuned lower than what we would normally class as our standard GDG, but it's all the same sort of relative tuning, so all the same chords and shapes work. But it does sound a bit deeper than the original song, but it still works pretty well. Once you've learnt it, you can get it up to speed, you can play along with the original. It's great fun. And there is also a free song chart for you to be able to do that, so you can download that above or below. So free PDF download off the website, full song structure, and also there is an accompanying DAD and EBE chords and scales PDF if you've not already checked that out. Really useful as a reference sheet, sort of show you all the relevant shapes for this song and multiple others. So without further ado, let's get straight in and have a look at the verse. All right, let's get straight into the song. So this is, it's not too difficult, but it's maybe a little bit harder than some of the strumming songs that we've looked at. So if there's any particular like sort of warm-ups you want to do first, 20th Century Boy T-Rex is quite a good one. Put a link for that, or you can even have a crack at Like a Rolling Stone, classic Bob Dylan. That one's quite good for strumming and in particular chord changing. But let's just get straight on with this one. So flat pick and fretted note again. So when we're strumming, make sure you're kind of rotating from your elbow, so quite a loose wrist. You're making a little arc, don't just go straight up and down. It's a bit sort of wooden. This is actually a swung rhythm, okay? So what we'll do first is, because it's got like a rock and roll feel to it, so what we'll do first is we'll just make sure the swung rhythm's working, then we'll do the proper strumming pattern. So that means it's long, short, long, short, long, short, long, like that. And try and get used to getting a bit of a flick going with your wrist, so you're not just straight up and down. Make it feel sort of bouncy, feel and sound sort of bouncy. So this tuning, fret 4 on the top string plus the other 2, that is a D. Okay, so a D major, just call it a D chord. So what I'm doing here, which is just slightly different to that basic swung straight alternate strumming, was I'm missing strum number 3. So I'm going like this: down, up, miss, up, down, up, miss, up, down, up. Now that missed downstroke is pretty important because it means that you're keeping the motion going. You don't want to kind of hang, you don't want to go like this, down. It's very sort of wooden again. It's much better to think of it as like a sort of pendulum. You keep going at the same speed all the way through. Down, up, miss, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, miss, up, down, up. Okay. Now let's just change chords, and we'll come back to the just the little extra note that's added in. We'll put that in a moment. So it's actually 4 bars of D. I didn't do that in the demo. It's 4 bars of D for the intro. So a bar is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it's 4 of them. Again, we'll put this bit back in a moment. But then in the verse, it's 2 of those. So we go D, second one, and then that, in this tuning, that is a G. So fret 2 on the middle string and fret 5 on the bass string, open high D. Can be a bit of a stretch for some people, that one. See where my thumb is. But I'm going to stick with it because this is a C. So it's actually, if you can get that in place, you can keep your pinky finger where it is quite helpful. So that's the G. The C, drop down to string 1, add this one, middle finger, second finger, onto fret 3. So fret 2, fret 3, and that stays on fret 5. Try not to get this one involved. Try and keep that out of the way. So here we would be G, same strumming. So that's a single bar. Move to the C for 2 strums, back to the G for 2 strums. And that is the main cycle. There's a different part at the end, but I'll just go through that. So it's down, up, miss, up, down. Second bar, down, up, miss, up, down to G, miss, up, down, up. 2 strums on C, 2 strums on G. Do it all again. Just do it all again. If you're really struggling with that, you can do a bar instead. That's a G. Kind of works all right. So you see where my thumb is there. If you bar in, again, you can check out. I think there's some bars in the 20th Century Boy, so hopefully that will help if you're not sure. And then a C is right up here. Fret 10, fret 5, fret 10. You can do that if you want. Doesn't quite sound as good, but it still fits. You know, so this is the same key as the song, so that will completely fit with the recording. But I'm going to stick with this for the time being. Okay, so you do all that twice. Just before we move on, let's try and add in this extra note. So stop this and practice that. But we'll add in this extra note on the D chord. So it's quite easy. You can use any fingers. I think I'm using fingers 3 and 4 here, my pinky finger, because it's possibly a little bit easier to jump onto that G. It's a relatively sort of quick change. But you can use any fingers here. So it's down, up, down. Second downstroke, add that note in, take it off straight away for the upstroke. Down, up, down, up, up, down, up. All right. Let's try a bit of that. So here's the, with this little finger added, that's called a D sus4. All right, so we've got down, down, up, miss, up, down, up. Change. Do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that was 2 lots of 4-bar chord cycles, and then it's a 12-bar cycle because it's rock and roll, so a little bit like a blues, 12-bar blues. So the last 4 bars go like this. We're still on the D for a bar, I'll put that note in again. So exactly the same strumming on the D. B flat, complicated sounding chord, fairly easy one actually, relative, it's probably easier than the G. So push down on fret 1, middle string, fret 3, bass string, and try not to catch. So this is why you got to sort of curl round more for chords, so you don't catch strings. That's B flat. Play that twice. Go to C, and then go to D. So 1 bar of D, down to B flat for 2 strums, 2 on the C, and then there's like a build on the D. Don't use that little finger again. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can go into what you call triplets, because on the original there's like a drum fill that comes in here, so we can sort of go with that and do some faster strums. B flat, C, 1, 2, 3, 4, stop on beat 1. Let's just try all of that. That's the verse. So I'll just do the last 4 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, triplets. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then into verse 2, exactly the same. To G, repeat that, to G, then back to D, and then B flat. 1, 2, triplets. Okay, so that is the verse. That's the sort of main part. That happens twice, back to back. Then we go into a bridge, which we'll do in a moment. Then there's a third verse, and then there's a solo. We're not going to do the solo. We can do the rhythm part, which is the same as the bridge, and then there's a couple more verses. So I would definitely practice that first bit. Some of those chords might feel like a bit of a handful, so you've got to get used to getting this wrist working. So like I was saying in the previous one, Kashmir, no iron grip, don't go Kung Fu movie, keep it relaxed. You want to be as relaxed as possible, so that means you've got to try and get this wrist working. I've taught quite a lot of people, you know, particularly slightly older people, and that they can just be like locked on for dear life. You've got to relax as much as possible. Just keep these fingers as free as you can. And you better play for longer as well, you won't run out of stamina. So the bridge though, so once you practice that, the bridge, similar, same strumming, but we're starting on a G chord. And then we're going to a C, and then back to a G. So it'd be like this. 1, 2, miss, 3, sorry, second bar, miss. And then when we go to the C, I like to, I'm not sure exactly what the guitar does on the original, but I like to sort of clip that C, just do 4 downstrokes, because it's like sort of punctuated by the band on the original. So that was 2 bars of G, 1 bar of C, and 1 bar of G again. So it's down, up, miss, miss, C, clip it, back to and then we go to a B flat, so we know that fret 1, fret 3, this isn't doing anything. For 2 bars, same strumming as the G, and then there's a very strange bit which goes so that's in E, again bar. Check the hand position, and then that's an A, that's an F. So the thumb must jump up, don't leave the thumb trailing, keep like that all the time. Focus, so it's E, A, F. Gets quite funny towards the end of the bridge cycle, which is also 12 bars, but we can have a go at the first 8 bars of the bridge. So it starts on G. In fact, let's go from this angle. So first 8 bars of the bridge, so 3, 4, G, second bar of G, then clip the C back to G, so that's 4 bars, and then we go to B flat for 2 bars, same strumming as the G, and then we go E for 2 strums, A for 2 strums, F for 1 strum, and then it's a stab, and that's right at the beginning of bar 8. So we just let that ring out. The vocals carry on, but the band just stops momentarily. And then, to finish off, we've got this very strange part. So single notes, we've got fret 5, fret 4, fret 3 on the middle string. You don't need to worry about bridging over here because we're just going to be more relaxed. We're just playing single notes. And then we go to fret 7, 6, 5. There's space in between all these. I'll go through the rhythm in a minute. And then we go back to an E bar, fret 2, and now they're really punchy. It sounds quite strange slowing down, but it kind of works if you try and punctuate. So every single, you kind of squeeze on and off for every single note. These are what you call triplets. So we can fit exactly 6 of these, 2 lots of 3 triplets in the bar. So we go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I'm squeezing that each time. Jump straight up to an A at fret 7 and strum through, and then try and hold that on. So you do a down strum and then play an up on that top string, and then we go 10, 9, 7. So I'll try and keep squeezing here so that I'm not deadening this middle string on the fret 7. So strum, play, high D string, 10, 9, 7 in the bar on the middle string. Okay, and so just to kind of emphasize the triplets back down here, I was doing a sort of staggered rake type strum, and then a couple of up picks on the single high D. So do that twice, so it's a raked strum on the first of the 3. And then, now this is the point where the electric guitar jumps in, so it's quite nice to pronounce that. And we're back again to verse 3 at this point. So, let's try all of the bridge I'm just going to go around just from this angle, just that last 4 bars. So rhythmically, we've just finished off with E, A, F, fret 2, A, 5, F, fret 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, triplet, 4, 1, triplet, more triplets, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, back to normal rhythm, dum, da, 2, 3, 4, and then back to another verse. All right, so let's just try all of the bridge. So 3, 4. 2 bars there, then C, B flat, and then E for 2, A for 2, bridge, 3, 4, 1, triplet, 4, 1, triplet, more triplets, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then into verse 3. Okay, definitely stop this, practice that, it's quite complicated. Probably quite useful again to have the free, completely free PDF download so you can see what's going on in terms of the basic structure. Might be helpful to see we've got like 3 lines with 4 bars in for each 12 bar section. Now what I was also doing in some places, just to make it sound a bit more bouncy, was I was just doing a little bit of muting. So mostly just gentle little sort of side of me palm into the strings. So not so much on this D, but maybe where we've got just like 1 down strum for each chord. It makes it a bit more bouncy. So in the verse, so you strum and you just little sort of gentle karate chop type thing. And you can do the same right at the end as well. And then whenever there's a sort of stab, like a gap, you definitely want to clip it. It kind of sounds a bit vague, leaving it ringing out. We want to be 3, 4, bomb, silence. And we can do the same sort of thing when we're in the bridge as well. So possibly the easiest way with the C is the same down, so just sort of little gentle chop each time, stop it ringing. I can do it here as well. Now I can just lift the pressure off for the E and the F, and that sounds great, but if I lift the pressure off for the A chord, I've got this open A ringing through. So it's probably easier to keep doing that. But for the triplet parts, you need to be punctuating with your fretting hand, because this hand's a bit sort of busy, you know, hitting particular strings and what have you, so you kind of need to let it get on with what it's doing. So if you want to put some of those sort of punctuations, those little mutes in, only when you feel you've got any kind of sort of rhythmical flow to it. You need to really take your time, because it's quite difficult rhythmically, and there's a lot of variation, particularly in that bridge. So probably practice the verse then the bridge separately before you put it together. If you do put it together though, you've got intro, 4 Ds, verse 1 straight into verse 2, bridge, verse 3, and then after verse 3 it goes into the solo. Now the solo is really similar to the bridge, apart from we have 2 bars of, so obviously we're just doing the rhythm part, like I said, we're not actually going full Brian May, a bit difficult on 3 strings, so we're doing 2 bars of B flat, 2 bars of D, 2 bars of B flat, E, E, A, F, sorry, E, E, A, F. This is all the same, isn't it? And then instead of doing this rundown, because the lead guitar does it on the at the end of the bridge into verse 3, it doesn't do that because it goes into a vocal only, or what you call a cappella verse after this part. So we can just stab. So we've gone bom bom bom. We can go 1 2 3 1 2 3 A down here. Just do a strum, or you can even move up there to fret 7, whatever you prefer to do. So very quickly, this is all of the solo rhythm part. 3 4, same strumming. This is B flat for 2 bars. D, put that little finger note in again as well if you want. That's 2 bars. Another 2 bars of B flat. Then we go E, A, F, 2 3 4 1 triplet, 4 1 triplet, and 1 2 3 1 2 3, and then a cappella verse, verse 4. And then it just loops round. It just loops round that ascending B flat to C, and it fades out. B flat, C for 2 beats each, D for a whole bar, just keep going around that, and the original recording fades out. And that is about the whole tune. But again, check the PDF download so you can see exactly what you're going to need to do when you've eventually learnt it and you want to try and play along with the full song. So that is it. I hope that was useful, hope that's fun. Great song. I played this one live quite a lot. It goes down really well, and hopefully you can too. But we will be back very soon with some more 3-string lessons here from Coda Guitar.